Wealthier editors, how did you get your wealth? And do you have any tips for a younger person? All the people I know that are wealthy have the same thing in common. They have a business that is not what you would expect. One washes linens for restaurants, another owns empty lots and rents the space, others run a small shop selling medical equipment. And they all put in the hours to grow their business. They worked hard to achieve it. So, one such method is to start a business and grow it. Try not to think about what is popular, think about what isn't. Not everyone can be successful making shirts with logos on it, though everyone tries. People pay for convenience. Find a way to make people's lives easier, and they will pay for it. There are 2 reasons to start a business. To provide something unique nobody else has. To do it better. If it's not unique and you can't do it better, you won't have anything to distinguish yourself from the competition. Also, number 1 is usually the risky option, because it's an untested concept. Number 2 is usually the less risky option, because it's well tested. I read a study once that said the most common character trait amongst the wealthy is frugality. I had a friend in college who worked summers as sort of a errand boy for a wealthy old couple, and he said he spent a ridiculous amount of time clipping coupons. Paying someone to clip coupons for you doesn't sound like the most frugal idea I've ever heard. My mother is an accountant and has seen the financial information of her some odd 400 clients for years. She says the ones with the most money aren't the doctors and lawyers, it's those investing their money, regardless of how much it is. Langdon stocks, baby. I gave up a $160k a year salary, my downtown condo and my BMW to move back in with my parents and start a business. I then had the joys of working 80-hour weeks for $20k a year, while I employed people earning $100k and over. Then I started growing my business by acquiring others instead of paying myself a huge salary. Once my company was earning over 20 million a year, I started to enjoy it. I then sold the company to a large telco. Now I've started over, but this time I bought a pre-existing company with a few millions in sales. I'm hoping for a repeat performance. One lesson I learned is make sure to have the right partner or partners for the right reason, not because you're too scared to do it on your own. I worked in investment banking and private equity. This is how the real world works, and it only has 15 upvotes. Everyone wants to hear about being frugal or some hit or just starting a business. You have to lay a solid foundation of industry knowledge first. Don't marry someone who can't control their spending. The amount of money they are willing to overspend on a wedding is a good indicator of how little self-control they have. You'll never get rich if your husband/wife spends it as fast as you can earn it. Also, kids are expensive as it. I'll let my brother carry on the family name. See all the nice stuff other people have? You really don't need it. Save the money and invest in things you know and trust. Save as much as you can and live under your means. Get your money working for you instead of working for money. I read a duck ton of books. Went to heaps of seminars. Stayed focused on my dreams and finally started a business. Then I spent 12 months living below my means, working 14 to 18 hours a day until I was making a decent profit. Then, instead of buying nice things, I put my money straight back into investing in real estate/startups/ pretty much anything that will turn a profit. In the end, if you want real money, you need to want it so badly that it hurts. You need to understand that you will probably duck it up, and if you do, you can't give up, you need to keep going. It's all about focus. If you are the sort of person that gives up if things aren't working out, get a normal job. You also need to learn that buying nice things is stupid unless you are earning enough that it doesn't matter. Never get into debt for things that aren't going to benefit you financially, like a nice new shiny car. It's not easy, but it's the most fulfilling thing I have ever done. There is no get rich quick schemes. If you want wealth, you need to work ducking hard and be able to ignore people who say that won't work. If you decide to go down this path, you'll probably lose a lot of friends and relationships at first because you won't have time. But I recommend you stick to it. Dude, I will fax you a copy of all the major decisions I've made in my life thus far. If you do the exact opposite of what I've done, you should make your first million by Tuesday. You still have /use a fax machine. I'd say you can chalk that up to another decision the O.P shouldn't make smiley face. Spend below your income level. You should never borrow for an item today that you can buy outright tomorrow and isn't a necessity. Do not take advice from anyone whose shoes you wouldn't want to be in. Tons of people with ducked up lives will try to offer advice they don't even follow themselves. I believe the best advice I've seen was inherit coal. I never understood why poor people didn't just inherit coal. Well, I would be willing to answer any question, but here is something I was told very early in life that really helped me become wealthy and successful. Do not play the victim. You are the common denominator. Take responsibility for everything you can do or control. What I mean is this: if you are in jail, if you are failing school, if you are about to get fired, if you are broke, the cop doesn't know your teacher, the teacher doesn't know the cop doesn't know your mom, the jail doesn't care about your homework, your boss doesn't know your friend's drug problems. You know what all of these people have in common? They know you. You have to focus on the betterment of yourself. Nobody is out to get you. Life is shitty, and it will be shitty to good people. Oprah was told, before she even became famous, she was told that she was too ugly for TV. One of the executives told her that she was too ugly to be popular on TV. She went on to become a billionaire. Overcome your own problems. Don't be the victim. You are in charge of your life only if you take the responsibility. If you let everyone dictate your life and blame the world for your problems, you are gonna have a bad time. I see success everywhere. It is like a ghost that haunts me. Well, I started with almost nothing, and I still have most of it left. It is really simple if you can just make yourself do it. Get as much education as possible. Work harder than those around you every day. Live below your means. Never pay interest unless you absolutely have to. For instance, yes for college loans, but no for a new car. Save money and invest it. Protect your health. For instance, exercise. Don't be overweight. Don't use tobacco. Invest early and invest often. I was born poor. At age 18 I moved to Eastern Asia and started peddling electronics. At age 20 I moved back to the USA and started a company that manufactured office supplies. I'm fairly well off now. My company has over 200 employees and I don't worry about money anymore. The best tip I have is steal. Steal, steal, steal. Every good idea I've ever had has been stolen from someone smarter than me. From method of production, to sales tactics, to business model, to you name it. Don't be blatant, but steal. There are tons of people smarter than you. Use them. Steal their ideas. You went to Asia and distributed, then you went to the US to manufacture? I think you got that process backwards. Define wealthier. I'm not rich, but I make a good living that enables my wife to stay at home with our son full time and makes for a comfortable standard of life. We don't worry too much about money and we live better than most people. That, in my book, is wealthier. You can earn enough to support and give anything your family needs. I'm sure it was a long road there, so I won't ask all the details, but any knowledge you want to share will be remembered. Knowing people, luck, and working your ass off. My dad came from a broke, homeless family. He had to drop out of school with no qualifications to get a job. To help pay for rent, he worked as a soft manual labor for many years, and then luckily got a job at a bank. He worked his way up, and then got made redundant. When I was born, we were broke. Thought working so hard at his old job he found another, and went back to college and uni. He got his first master's, then getting him a job which he lost within a week due to lying on his CV. Out of a job for another year, he gets another with a bigger bank where they educated him, giving him another master. He is now the most qualified man in his office. 1. Inherit iron ore mines. 2. Give advice about becoming wealthy on your own. Get lung cancer, cook meth for a kingpin, kill said kingpin, and become new kingpin. Profit. Don't have children. That's the secret. I'm not having children. Read The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley. This book has the answers you are looking for. 3 things. Learn people. You never get anywhere without the help of other people, and you need to learn what motivates them on a whole and on individual levels. This will help you in building up people that feel invested in your success. This doesn't mean you need to be extroverted. In fact, a lot of people don't like that. What it means is that you enter situations with a basic understanding of what the person on the other end of the conversation wants. Once you have that figured out, you can work on the next step. Learn how you sell. This isn't about selling as a used car salesman or anything like that. It's about the selling of ideas. People can sell ideas in a myriad of different ways, and learning how you sell is the most important thing. Everyone can sell. Introverts, extroverts, ugly people, good-looking people. Learning your faults, learning your strengths, and learning how they mix together to give you a mojo that will help you convince other people to side with you, to give in to the momentum of your thoughts, and to will yourself to whatever you want. It's not as easy as that, and individual circumstances often vary, but this is a good step toward that. Build consensus and don't stop. As you learn to sell, you'll build people that bought you. Don't stop with those relationships. Keep building them. Keep them close. Keep them up to date. Show them how their investment in you is paying dividends in the growth of you as a person. This will pay off in so many ways. Friendships, mentors, new opportunities. As you move forward in life, you'll build people that are so invested in you that your success will keep propelling you forward. Finally, notice how I didn't write anything about money. Money is a transient thing. Having a lot in the beginning helps, and the rich often get richer. However, if you learn these 3 things, you will continue to achieve success incrementally in your life. I am now paying more in taxes each year than I made just 6 years ago. Doing all of this will help create the personal momentum to live a rich life. Ignore the "do what you love" rhetoric that you've been hearing since you were young. Do what you have to do to make money, then use that money to do what you love. Don't buy useless shit. Live well below your means. Understand how compound interest works. Learn how to invest. I love writing and comedy. I've been writing advertising for 6 years. I'm not rich, but I earn a salary that puts me in the top 10% for the US. If I took your advice, I'd have gone to law school and been miserable. And it would be even harder to find a job. For the love of God, if you're gonna do something in life, make sure you love it. Otherwise you'll end up an empty shell of a man. 22 years ago, when my kids were young, I set up to automatically withdraw $900 per month and put it in 3 accounts, me and each kid's college. That was a real hardship, but we survived. After a few years I raised the $900 to $200, and then I added $1,000 per month into the company $401k, which is matched. No matter how bad things got, or how much wife begged to stop that deduction, we never did. After a few years of raises we got to where we forgot about it. We stayed living in our modest house. I suppose we were living with people who had shittier jobs, but we were happy. They were good people. Lost my job in 2008. I had $1.6 million in the bank. Kids are married, and I love being home with my wife. We live just fine. Good luck. Try to have rich parents. 2. Be white. 3. Try your hardest not to be black or Mexican. If you liked this video, don't forget to smash the like button. For more hits and giggles, subscribe.